This is Mark Whitten.
This is Adam MacArthur.
This is Ann Yatko.
This is Molly Chung.
Hey everybody, this is Michael Yurchak.
This is Daquan Wilshire.
This is Lexi Nieto.
This is Rico Fajardo, and you're watching.
And you're listening to Spoiler Force Podcast. Set your heart ablaze.
All right, so this is episode 176 of Spoiler Force Podcast. My name is Ricky, and thank you for tuning in. This week's guest, I have Rie of KIKI Japan with me on the show. Actually, I met Rie back at Dallas Fan Festival last year. That's where me, my roommates, my cousins Bobby and his girlfriend Lynn, we went to your booth. We bought like the Demon Slayer handkerchiefs for the dogs. But yeah, this is it's really cool to have you on the show. I think we met back at like KO Plus Con. I didn't know that you were going to be there too, because my cousin's art table was like across from me, not exactly across, but it was like in that same aisle as you. So it was really cool to see you put your stuff back up and see all your material and all your new stuff that you had out for your for your merchandise and all that. So Rie, for folks who may not know who you are, how did you get started with your I guess your business as well? Like you're just selling merchandise for like animals, even you have like t-shirts and all that stuff as well. How'd you get started with that?
Yeah, so how or why? So if
it can be both.
okay.
Yeah.
So why I started KIKI Japan is more like coming from my mission, my personal mission. So my personal mission is actually create a world where all dogs are happy and safe. And then I kind of wonder like how I can achieve that throughout my life. So I'm like, I probably cannot do it by myself. Like, sheltering and rescuing, like it would be so hard. So I was like, okay, I have to go from the business side, like enterprise side. So I was okay, so what do I do? And then I came across with the idea of like Japanese inspired design pet bandanas. Then because I could not find one like that. So I'm like, okay, let me start with that and then see how it goes. And then I started from just Japanese inspired designs first. And then I expand to anime because it's under the same roof. And then I now expand to scrunchies and then like pocket t-shirts. But those are actually I made from scrap fabrics, just from the pet bandanas, because I'm like, I don't want to waste anything. So I'm like, okay, let me make those and then see how it goes. So like why is from my personal mission, and then how is more like, okay, let me do it and then see how it goes.
That's awesome. I read in your bio that like you have dogs as well. Of course, you have dogs. But, like, was that the reason why, like, just having your first dog and then just being able to make something for your pets or for other people's pets too?
Yeah. So she's Kiki is not my, so obviously KIKI Japan is coming from my fur baby's name, but Kiki is not my first dog. I had like 2 dogs previously, but they were more like family dog in Japan. And then, but she is the first like my baby dog. And then yes, so I actually started sewing pet clothing first for her. And then I actually went to the simple way, which is bandana, which is sounds like a little awkward because sometimes usually people start with like simple one. And then they advance, but I did opposite. So like I did starting with the clothing and I went to bandanas. And I still make clothing though, so
Did you make like costumes to your dogs and like for holidays and stuff like that?
yeah. And then also like I made more like humans clothing, if that makes sense, because I feel like a lot of like dogs clothing are actually made for dogs, like all the dog what is it, like kind of, I don't know how to explain it. It looked more, it didn't much to my taste. So I had to make ones for her because like I didn't like much of the stuff out there. So yeah.
So have you always been doing like sewing and making clothes? Like, was that no? That just something you
No.
decided to do?
Yeah, so when I explored the idea for my business, I'm like, I didn't know what to start with. So I'm like, okay, let me just start with a bunch of stuff. So and then like one of them was sewing, and then I started and I enjoyed, and I'm like, I think I can do well with this one because like I couldn't find one myself like what I was making back then. And then so I'm like, I'm pretty sure people like some people are like looking for those, or they might not realize, but like when see my stuff, maybe they would be, this is what I was looking for. Yeah.
So when did you decide to start making like clothes for like for people too? Like was it just after making dog like materials
Yeah.
again? Okay.
Yeah. So it was after like, so actually first I made it, like I didn't enjoy the process at all, like at all. Like I was like, when I was sewing so I buy blank t-shirts and then I put the pocket, like I just piece of fabric and then make it into pocket and then put on that to the t-shirt. And I didn't enjoy the process at all because one, probably because I love dogs so much. Like when I'm sewing like dog stuff, like I can imagine like dog would be like happy face and then like the parents would have happy face. But for people, I'm like I couldn't like have
Trying to
the
picture
like
them with happy faces.
yeah, I couldn't have the happy thoughts when I'm sewing. So I'm like I was so frustrated, and it's like it's a new stuff, so like it would be sometimes it's a little frustrating, like what is it process? Because sometimes oh, how do I do this? And then like it's not that simple, but once I got used to, so okay, going back, sorry. So first
All
time I
right.
sold, sorry, first time I saw the pocket tees, people not gonna buy it, like because I didn't enjoy it. So I'm like, but it sold well, and I'm like, oh my god, now do I need to make more? Like people kept asking me, I'm like, oh my god, should I make more? And I talked to my husband. He's like, yeah, you need to make more, and I'm like, I don't want to, and he's like, you need to make more. So he pushed me, and I told him this is like the second time I was sewing. This is the last time I sewed pocket tees. I'm like, I'm not gonna sew anymore, and I'm not gonna sell anymore. Once this sold out, that's it. And I'm like, and then he's like, all right. And then like so I did it, and then again it sold like a lot more than I expected. I'm like, oh shit, I think I need to keep making as long as people want. So I'm like, so that's how I started.
So are you still sewing t-shirts then? Are you still
Yeah,
doing that? Oh wow.
yeah.
Now, how does that like how does I guess how do you plan that like when you go to certain is it I guess when it's certain conventions that you go to do you plan to like make more than than you usually do or like do you kind of just gauge it like that?
Yeah, some big ones like I mean like I'm not nowhere expert for conventions, so I don't think I can. I just do my best to have some kind of expectation. So okay, this convention seem and it sound like it's big one, so I would make more T-shirts and I would bring more bandanas, something like that. And if it's small ones like such as local ones, and I'm like, I don't think I need to sew more T-shirts. I can do with what I have, or like I would bring up not like as much as of like pet bandanas. So it really like I just gauge my like I just guess my best, I guess.
What was the first convention you went to with your business?
So it was Anime Wonder. uh, Don't quote me on the exact name, but Anime Wonder Festival in at the Mitsuwa. It's Mitsuwa is a what is it, Dallas area like Japanese grocery store, and then it was there, and then yeah, it's actually like it's I don't know if like traditional conventions because it's outside. So like I had to I had canopy already, so like it was no problem at all, and it was like May, so the weather was not like bad. So yeah, but that was my first convention, I guess.
You know, you bring your business out to conventions, but did you have like your own store already, or did you do everything at home? Like, did you make everything just at home by yourself? Like, so
Door?
yeah. Like,
Sorry.
do you have your own shop at all? Like, or do
Oh
you
no
just
no no
no? So
no
so you
no.
make everything at home then, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
But
okay, okay.
yeah, in the beginning, I was the only one who was doing everything, like cutting, like ironing, sewing, and everything, like all the steps. But now I have like some helpers to do to help me on like some of the steps, not all of the steps, but some of the steps, so I can actually keep stocking up because now, like, at some point, like in the past, I has the struggle of keeping my stock up enough for next conventions. I'm like, okay, I probably need help. So yeah.
Yeah, that was gonna be my next question. Was like seeing how you, or at least the times I've seen you at cons, you're usually by yourself. So
Yeah.
doing all of that, was that, and your husband doesn't help you with that either? He doesn't. Does he go to cons with you and help you with your inventory?
No, he works. So I usually have, or like, at some point, or like, it depends on like, my schedule, but I have like, sometimes two jobs, like, this Kiki Japan and another business. And then, but like right now it's, kind of right now it's only, I'm focusing on Kiki Japan, but like, he works way more than me, like hours wise. So like I can ask him to like,
Oh, okay.
work more. So like, yeah.
So, going to conventions, was it pretty intimidating for you at first? Like just coming with your business and just like, selling, being a vendor. Were you nervous at all doing any of that?
No, because I actually started off with the farmers markets, like, farmers
Okay.
markets, style, I guess, like, just like local ones. And then those were like, one outside. So like, there's a lot of uncertainty, like weather, and then, or I don't know. And then like, so outside means like you need to have a canopy, and then like local farmers markets are usually like, 4 to 5 hours ish. So like, um, it was hard for me on the farmers market. So like, conventions usually like inside, and then two, like it's like, it's 3 days or 2 days. So like, once you set up, like you can have like, good hours after that, and then like, take down. But like because of the farmers markets experiences, I think I didn't get nervous at all getting to like, anime conventions, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, because I asked this because like again, my cousin who sells art, like I've had a little bit of experience like just standing at the like at the booth and like just hoping to see customers come by and if they want to make purchases. And I've said this on the podcast before, but like I'm terrible with like greeting customers. I don't know if
Oh,
it's because like maybe I come off like too strongly, but like when people come by, I'm just like, hi, how you doing? Like just I'm very aggressive with it. So like it kind of freaks them out, and they're like, "Oh man, like we don't want to buy the stuff here." So like I'm working on like my people skills on like trying to ease the customer into like seeing what artwork or whatever purchases they want to make. But yeah, because it's really I like hearing people's experiences on Etsy just to see how they first started and how it was like for them because everyone's experiences are different.
yeah.
um but what
Yeah,
made you decide? Oh, go ahead.
sorry, because I think I actually like learned the like customer service after, I mean, during my like high school, because I was working part-time, and then also like after I graduated from high school, I actually worked 4 years like to actually come to the United States to study. So like during that time I was doing the customer service, so I kind of had experience, and I was, you know having what is it, learning the customer experience in Japan. And I don't know if you know, I'm gonna brag here. Customer service in Japan are exceptional. So, like, I learned that, like, in Japan. So, like, I just kind of like brought here and then just, did what I learned like at conventions. So I think I was, I was not nervous at all because I had that in back, and then like, and also I can read, not I can read people, like, but I can kind of like see like, oh, this person is shy, so I'm gonna just say hi and then leave them alone.
Yeah.
And then yeah, if they're talkative, okay, I'm gonna engage a little bit more to see like, what they need, what they want, so like I can kind of like, adjust to that.
Yeah, I need to
Yeah.
work on that for sure.
Yeah.
But what made you decide like anime conventions or just conventions in general? Was it just because like was it all the pop culture stuff too that you liked, or what made you decide to go that way?
So as I said, first, started from the farmers markets, and I'm like, man, like, audiences are different from my target audience, right? So like usually farmers markets are they like those people come to like get food or like like bakery stuff, like pastry stuff. So like I'm like, okay, I probably need to find somewhere, like I need to find some markets that I can put my stuff in front of people who actually know what I'm doing and they want my stuff. So I'm like, okay, where should I go? And my stuff is Japanese, so I'm probably need to be in front of the people who like Japanese stuff. So I'm like, okay, and then I just encountered with the Anime Wonder Festival in at Mitsuwa. So I'm like, okay, this is at Mitsuwa, so definitely people who love Japanese stuff would come. And then I, kind of like experienced, tried that, and I'm like, okay, I think I need to go into anime conventions, even though table fees are a little bit higher than like farmers markets, but like I think it's worth it. So I took the like shot after that.
Yeah, and it's good to see like how big the anime scene is now, like especially like
Yeah,
at cons.
yeah, I
So
agree.
there's always people that's gonna buy stuff like that, and again with your booth, like you sell something that's different from like what the other vendors
Mm,
usually sell. It's always like cosplay stuff or like figures or toys, but specific you have a specific niche for your target audience. So there's a lot of dog lovers out there. That's why like again with my roommates and I, like, when we came by your booth, it's just like because they have 4 dogs here, so they bought them each something, and then I bought my sister's dog something too. So
yeah.
I think it's really cool that you're able to do that. And I guess were you always like were you into the whole anime stuff at all, like any of the pop culture stuff?
Yeah. I mean, I more like manga girl than
Okay.
anime girl. So anime I watch, but like manga is my main one. Like, yeah, I'm like big anime girl. But like recently I haven't bought any manga because like in the United States it's a little bit more, not little bit, like maybe 2.5 or 3 times more expensive than Japan. So like, yeah, but yeah, I brought my like, two favorite titles from Japan. So like, sometimes I just read those like, like again. So
What are your favorite titles then for manga?
okay. So those I don't think or like your audience know, because I don't think even in Japan it's not that popular. But like one is called, so those are shoujo manga. I'm like a big shoujo manga fan.
Okay.
So like one is called Double Juliet, and I bet you don't know. So I don't
Sounds
expect you to
interesting.
know. Yeah, yeah. And then like the other one is I don't know. Okay, Double Juliet was easy to say in English, but the other one is like, I only know Japanese title. So it's Sekai de Ichiban Daikirai. It's more like, so the title itself, if I like translate directly, it says I hate you the most. Like, let's say that. Yeah. Both of them are shoujo manga. So as you can, I don't know if you know anything about shoujo manga. Shoujo manga is all like, geared toward to romantic. So like,
Yeah.
romance. So yeah.
I'll definitely check those out. I'll definitely
Okay.
look those up because I mean, like I only read the only mangas I read are the ones that are like really mainstream right now. So like
Yeah.
Chainsaw
One
Man,
Piece.
Jujutsu
Yeah.
Kaisen, Spy Family. Like I read all the stuff that's like popular here in the
Yeah.
West.
Yeah.
Um, so when you were making the designs for like for dog accessories and stuff like that, did you like just go with what was, I guess, popular at the time, or did you like enjoy watching the anime that's already out? Because like for example, like you have like a lot of the Demon Slayer stuff, right? So
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
that something
Yeah.
that you enjoyed watching already and then you made it, or did you just make it because you knew it was hot?
So I made it. Okay, I watched like some episodes of Demon Slayer, but I made it because my husband liked it. So like,
Okay.
because like I I have like, I don't know if any artists have that. I mean, probably some, but like I have specific target audience like set in my mind. Well, not in my mind, like it's on paper too. But, like so it's kind of like a really businessy talk. But like my target audience is more it's 22 years old to like, let's say like 35, 38 years old ish, who has dog but do not have kids, or who
Okay.
has dog or cat, I guess, but do not have kids. Because then like they usually have like more disposable income to spend on their dogs. And
Yeah.
usually if they don't have kids, they not spoil, but they treat their dogs and cats like their kids, right?
Oh yeah,
Like
there's
human
there's a
kids.
lot of
So
pet parents out there that you can say
yeah.
spoiled there's even like people with kids that spoil their pets more than their
Yeah, yeah,
kids.
yeah.
So
Oh yeah. I know for sure I will be one of them, because like sometimes my close friends worry. We don't have kids yet, but sometimes like my close friends worry about me. Like I worry about you because when you have kids, I feel like you're not gonna love kids as much as your dog. And I'm like, okay, fair, because like it is fair because I cannot imagine as well.
well, I can say this is like I've had two family dogs as well. And like my mom even says it. She's like, I wish I had dogs earlier because you could just leave dogs at home and not worry about them.
Yeah,
And,
yeah,
but
yeah.
kids, you have to, cater to them. You have to bring them with. You can't leave your kids at home. So you have to bring your kids. Your pets, you can
Legally
leave them
they
at,
cannot.
yeah.
Yeah.
Your pets can stay at home, but you have to bring your
Yeah.
kids with you.
Oh my God, your mom is like a little opposite from, because I feel like I wish I can take her to everywhere, like everywhere, like So yeah, but I cannot. So like so I sometimes need to leave her home, even though I don't want to leave her home.
Well, I don't know. It's like things have changed now because like I've seen like this huge like influx of like pet parents and stuff like that, and even like when people bring their pets on flights and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah,
like
yeah.
there's a lot more of that now, and then like I think I don't know if people just do it for reels or for views, but like even people like put their little dogs in like their bags and stuff and like
Yeah.
sneak them in like movie theaters and stuff like that. I'm like, wow, man, like that's a bit much, but okay.
Wow. I mean, like if they don't bark, I guess, because um yeah, because I just don't want to like disrupt other people, like bringing her outside, not outside, but bringing her to somewhere that dogs are not usually allowed. And then I don't want to like people who don't have dogs or cats to like not liking or more like hate like people with dogs and cats, because then
Right.
like who like pet parents would be like little like like you know what I mean, like I don't want to make the culture, and I don't want to have other people to experience that, because we have dogs and a cat, you know what I mean, if that
Yeah,
makes sense.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's. I mean, there's still like a lot of boundaries, but I just think it's
yeah,
just funny seeing how like there's so many
yeah,
people with pets now, and like they literally treat their pets like kids. I don't know.
yeah,
Have you seen this, or like people put like their pets in like the strollers, and then they have their kids on
yeah.
leashes? Have you seen that? Like that
Oh
is so
my God,
crazy. That's so crazy to me.
leashes.
Yeah, like
Okay,
or like those backpacks or like the leash. So like
yeah.
that is wild to me. I've seen that before,
Oh,
and I'm just like, isn't that supposed to be the opposite? Like your kids in the
I
stroller and your dog's on the leash.
I think what yeah, yeah, yeah. Probably okay, let me guess. Probably it was a hot day.
That big.
because hot day, like you cannot walk your dog because like their paws would get burned. But kids,
Yeah.
they have shoes. So and then you know what? Like it's kind of funny though, because I was a kid who had a leash on, like backpack and a leash. Because I'm like free spirit. Like even now I'm little free spirit. And then like when I was kid, like I was even more free spirit. Like I was kind of like chaos to my mom, I guess, because I go like I'm not shy. So like I'm introvert, but I'm not shy. It's kind of complicated. But so I just go everywhere by myself. Like even though my mom is not there, so then she loses me all the time. Like she lost me all the time. So she decided to have like backpack unleash me, because then like I wouldn't be able to go anywhere physically. So and I thought about getting stroller for my dog. So
I
it's
mean,
kind of
you
funny.
might as well. You might as well get one.
Yeah, I probably get one, because like I've been thinking about that for a long, long time. So I probably need to get one. And then my dog Kiki sometimes like gets really tired even before us. So sometimes like we have to like hold her when we finish our walk. So we
Uh,
probably need to get one.
have you thought about getting like those, like I guess like those straps that goes around your chest and you put the dog in on the middle,
I
like
I
the.
actually thought about making one for myself, but she's like 20 pounds.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah,
You could
yeah.
carry her like a
So
backpack then, like put her on your
yeah,
backside.
probably in the bag, but not like here because like she's like 20 pounds, so she's like way like heavier than like baby infant. So
You brought up your childhood a little bit. I was very curious. Like, were your parents like dog parents too, or like how was that like getting your first pet and all that?
I would say my mom was. I think she loves dogs. So I don't know about that my dad, but like my mom, it was and it is. So yeah, but definitely like at the time and then in Japan, like we I wouldn't call my mom like ma what is it, pet mom, because like definitely like more like pet owner, if that makes sense. The slight difference. So like
Yeah.
yeah, my first dog was like kept outside. I mean like back then like I don't like you know to how old am I? Like 20, more than 20 years ago in Japan. It was not that hot, I guess. But like still like I wouldn't put my dog outside. So not like I wouldn't keep my dog outside. But back then like we kept our first dog outside, and then like second dog we kept inside because he was definitely indoor dog. So yeah, but definitely like yeah, my mom is loves dog. So yeah, I kind of grew up in the household like with dog all the time. Actually, my first dog, I don't know if you're curious about it, but like my first dog, I like decided. I don't know if I can say use the word decided, but like when I was 3 years old ish, like I went to like shelter actually like in Japan, and then um I told my dad I will not leave without this dog. I had a specific dog I guess I fell in love with, and then like I told him like I don't remember at all. Like my mom told me this story because she was like, "You're so stubborn," and then like like I told my dad I will not leave here without this dog, and then he was like, "Oh my god!" And then I guess he gave up because we had the dog. So yeah.
You know what? I don't know if your dad was like this too, but like my dad for when my dad's the reason why we were able to get our dogs. But it's funny because like my dad, he was not a pet person. Like he'll do like a fish tank or something like that. You know, something
Mm.
easy or something to like easy to maintain or like but like he would never like touch the dogs that we had or stuff like that. He'll let them stay in the house and stuff, but he never really had this bond with our dogs like how me, my sister, my mom did. But because of him, we were able to have dogs. And the irony in that was like he's always like, uh like when one of our dogs we brought home, we our first dog we brought home from our aunt. Like she had like a batch of puppies, so we
Mm.
we got our first dog then, and then our second one we rescued. And my dad's the one who actually rescued her. My dad's like, I felt bad for her. She was in this little crate, and I didn't like seeing her like that. But then when we bring her home, my dad's like, all right, you guys don't take care of her. I'm not gonna let you guys have her anymore. I'm like, what? You're the one that rescued her. You're the one that brought her home. And so it's just like this weird, ironic relationship with my dad and animals. But like, it's just funny seeing like you mentioned your parents like being animal lovers. Like my parents at first were not dog lovers, or especially
Mm.
my mom was not a dog lover. She's like, they smell. I don't like the idea that they lick you. I don't like that they poop and pee in the house. And she didn't like that at first. And then until we had our first two dogs, and like next thing you know, she's like full on like grandma mode and carrying them and singing
Yeah.
to them and kissing them and treating them like little babies. I'm just like, okay, so things changed. Like
Yeah.
so it's just funny seeing that. And then like now my sister has a new one. Her name's Dumpling. She's a little like Bichon Shih Tzu mix. She's
Oh,
still a baby. She's like 5 or 6 months, and
oh wow.
we're actually gonna like head back and see them soon. So like my mom's very excited to see the new dog, and it's literally almost like seeing a grandbaby.
Same. Because like my mom, so she lives in Japan. Like all my blood related family live in Japan. But like my mom, like when we did talk on the phone, like we use the app called Line. But anyway, so we usually just do the voice, like what is it like
Like audio calls.
yeah, audio calls. And then like only time she asks me to turn on camera when she is the only when she wants to see my baby, like Kiki, the dog. So like like she doesn't care about like looking at my face, like she, I guess she's tired of my face, but like she's like, oh, can we do video? Like I'm like, okay, like I want to see Kiki, and she says I want to see Kiki. I'm like, okay. And like my mother-in-law, like like just like so comes like so comes here, and then before we had a Kiki, she always say hi, how are you doing, like whatever, right, like just normal stuff. But now like she doesn't greet anything, she just go towards the like towards the Kiki, hi Kiki, are you okay, I'm like, how are you doing, like and then like she just like we don't have any like how are you like hello moment, and then she just goes to Kiki, and it's kind of funny though. But first I was like, oh my god, like like did she just ignore this? But like now I got used to it, and also like I love the like like they both of like can enjoy our little baby.
I guess are you like that as well? Like for me, like I'm not good at like, well, you have great customer service skills, but for me, like whenever like my friends or like whenever we hang out, like and some of them have pets, like I just like your mother-in-law, I just skip past all my friends. I'm like, oh look the dog, like I go to the dog first, and then I greet everyone later. I'm just like, dude, like that's I guess that's how I am. Like if I see someone with a pet or if I see a dog at the house, I'm just gonna go hang out with the dog. Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
are you like that as well?
Yeah, I am because like when I recently when I went to like one of my close friends, they just got a, I don't remember how long ago, but they got a like pug. So like that was the first time I like met the little pug, and like their pug. So I straight went to their pug and then say hello, and then like she was barking like so tiny voice, and then she was barking, and I'm like, are you okay? I'm okay. So okay, let me sniff me, and then like and then like I don't know after spending a few minutes or maybe a little bit more, and then I went actual inside, like and like after that because I had to pass the pug was in the hallway kind of like so I kind of didn't even like move from the hallway first, and then I went into like the like normal like dining like kitchen area, and then like greeted to like humans. So I am like that. Yes, definitely like I usually like go to like first like dogs and then cats, and then go to humans afterwards.
Was your husband was he an animal person as well when you met him? Oh,
Yeah,
that's good.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Because I don't know if I can like date or like marry or like live with someone who do not like having pets, or like who do not like pets, like I don't know if I can like be with them, because like dogs and like animals are like huge part of my life, like so yeah, I mean like as I told you, like my personal mission is like to create a world where dogs are happy and safe. So like I don't think if I have like partner who do not support the idea, I don't know if it's one of my identities. So like
Right.
so I don't think I can be with them. But luckily my husband is, so
That's good. Yeah, that's
yeah.
good that he's a yeah, because I mean, I don't know. I guess I've seen like a lot of like memes on the internet too, but like for me, I do. I'll just say this on the podcast. Like I do judge a person based on how they treat animals. So like if you're not like a really good dog person, then I'm just like, okay, yeah, I'm not judging you personally, but I'm just like, okay, so that just I think I should just kind of like respect your boundary there. But then like because me growing up with dogs, my dad used to have friends that come over, and like my dogs hated them, like, and so uh I would joke with my parents. I'm like, maybe they're not a good person, like maybe that's why our dogs don't like them, because like sometimes there's people that come to our house and our dogs are completely fine, like they'll greet them, they'll walk away, but like there's some guys that came to our house, like my dad's friends, and like my dogs would go crazy, they'd bark at them and growl at them, and my dad's like, my dad always be like, hey, put them upstairs or put them in a room, like they're too noisy. And then, like, like I said, I would just tell them, like, maybe they're not a good person. I mean, I think that speaks
Maybe.
volumes,
Yeah, maybe because like, dogs can tell like, from I don't know what, I don't know all the science behind it, or dogs can tell some stuff. So
Oh yeah,
never
definitely.
know.
I believe that,
Yeah.
like, if they can tell if someone doesn't like them from the get go,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that, like they're very overprotective. Like, my dogs were little dogs. They're not big dogs, and even they like would yap and go crazy, and they wouldn't bite, but they just bark a
Hmm.
lot. Um,
Yeah.
but you mentioned your mission, so just for like for clarification as well for the audience members, like
Mhm.
when they make purchases at your booth, like some of those proceeds go to those like those charities, right, for dogs and all that.
Okay, so let me clarify. As of now, all the like money coming in in the exchange for my products do not go to, what is it? Those proceeds do not go to like shelters or like rescues, but all my tips I collect at the
Oh, okay.
conventions do like 100% of them go towards to shelters and then like rescues and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah,
cool.
yeah, yeah. Because it right now is like in order to like what is it, actually do what I want to do, like create a world where all dogs are happy and safe, like do I have to be, I don't know if I might get hate, but like I have to be like in a big company, or like I have to have good profit out of the business, right? So that means like all the money I earn like from the those like exchange of the products and stuff, like need back into my business in order
Yeah.
to grow. So like, because of that ultimate like, mission, all of my proceeds from like, those sales actually go back to my business, and then all the tips go like 100% of them go to like shelters and then rescues.
Yeah, just for people who are listening, like don't confuse that. Like, of course, Rie needs her business to run so that she can help rescue dogs as well. But if you do meet Rie at conventions, please give tips as well, because that
Oh,
money goes
yeah,
to animals and all of that.
yeah.
But as we come towards the end here, Rie, thank you so much for being on the show. I really enjoyed talking to you and finally having you on the podcast. But for folks who want to like follow you or on social media, how can they do that?
Okay, so they can find me at Insta, TikTok, and then Facebook with Hello Kiki Japan. So HELLOKIKIJAPAN. And
Perfect.
also I have my website, which is KIKIJP.com. So they can
Okay.
find me there too. Yeah.
And people can buy your merchandise there too, right? On your website.
So on my website is not e-commerce yet. I am
Okay.
working on it. So maybe at the time of like, this podcast online, maybe it is ready. I don't know. But it would be still same domain, like, KIKIJP.com. But like right now I only have Etsy that people can buy my products from, but uh some products are not available, especially t-shirts. T-shirts are zero, like zero t-shirts yet. So that's why I'm actually like, kind of forced to like, work on my e-commerce so I can put my t-shirts out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hopefully the shop's up by the time this episode airs. I'll have the links in all the show notes and description as well. But like I said, this I don't know when this episode will air, but like hopefully it'll be during a time like when you're at a con too. So do you have any like conventions you're going to later on this year?
So yes, one is in San Antonio, I believe, in October, middle of October, I believe. And then but that one is more for the Fury people, like Fury
Okay.
Con. I think it's called ACF. I don't remember, but it's on my website. Like, that my
Okay.
calendar is on my website. They can look it up, or like I do post my some of my schedule, like partial schedule on my Insta, so they can find out. But I'm actually go to my first out of state con in October as well, which is Anime Weekend Atlanta in Atlanta, obviously, and also Anime NYC in November in New York, obviously.
Oh, nice. That's a big one. So
Yeah.
yeah, and that's gonna be a fun one there.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you listen to this episode, please go support Rie as well, support her business, and help rescue dogs as well. Again, thank you so much for your time. I really enjoyed speaking with you. If you ever want to come back on the show, I would love to have you back on to talk more about your experience as well.
Thank you.
All right, so this is it, the episode 176. Thank you guys so much, and have a great day. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to give a review and rate Spoiler Force Podcast. If you want to get all Spoiler Force updates or even peeks at behind the scenes, you can join the Spoiler Force Discord community. And if you'd like to show support, give tips, recommendations, sponsorships, or any collaborations, you can email me at rickyvang92@gmail.com.